Hello, I'm Tim Cargill. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a guided tour of the online system for taking the senior ordination examinations of the Presbyterian Church, USA. This video will focus on just the process for using the internet-based testing platform. It does not go over all the instructions or information you need to know about taking these examinations. For that, you will need to review the appropriate sections of the Handbook on Standard Ordination Examinations for each particular exam. What we will cover here are three basic issues: how to access the examinations website before, during, and after a testing period, how to navigate through the exams from beginning to end, and some advanced preparations you should make if you are considering taking the exams with tablet computing devices like the iPad. Before we begin, let me give you the most important tip regarding the online exams. During the week before your exam, log into your account and review your profile. If you have any problems, use the Forgot Your Password link to recover your username and set a new password. The last thing you want is to start your examination with a stressful effort to log in. Office staff will be much more available to assist you if you are having problems several days before the exam than the day of the test. So, let's start by reviewing the login procedure. Everything you do related to the senior ordination examinations, whether it is registering for an exam, taking it at the scheduled time, or reviewing your results once they are released, begins at the same website, exams.pcusa.org. Once you have entered that address in your web browser, you will see the exams homepage. That page will have information about registering for the exams because most days of the year that is why people visit the site. Since you created an account when you registered for an exam, scroll down to the Log into Your Account button and click on it. You will be taken to the Account Login screen. Here you will enter your username and password. If you do not remember your password and can access your email from the computer you are using, you can click on either Forgot Your Password link to have an automated message sent with a customized link that will allow you to reset your password. You must use the same email address that is in your profile because that is how the system will reset the password for your particular account. The email will also include your username in case you have forgotten that as well. After you have logged in, you will see your profile page. You can actually visit this page at any time to edit your basic profile information or see the status of your exams. Even practice entering answers in the system. Once your proctor has approved you to begin taking an exam, you will find a link for that particular exam just below your profile information. To take the test, simply click on that link. The first page is the honor statement related to the exam you are about to take. After you read this material, you must click the button next to the word Yes in response to the question concerning whether you will abide by these requirements. Then, you must type your legal name in the response field provided, which serves as your legal signature in this online testing platform. You will then click on the Next button at the bottom of the page. Should you have not completed these steps, the system will display an error message and will not permit you to proceed further until you indicate in this way that you understand and will abide by these requirements. The second page you will see is a summary of the most important instructions for taking the exam. You will have received a full statement of the instructions with the confirmation of your exam registration, and they are also available in the exam's handbook. What are displayed here are simply some quick reminders of things that, if not followed, could result in a mandatory, unsatisfactory evaluation of the exam. One of the most important instructions is the last one on the list. you should only use the Previous or Next button at the bottom of each page to move between pages of this exam. Using your browser's back or forward button could result in the loss of information entered in the question response boxes. Clicking Next at the bottom of this page does two things. First, it moves you to the page with the first question from the exam. Second, it starts the clock for the time permitted for you to complete the theology, worship, and polity examinations. As is explained in the handbook, the timing of the exegesis exam is different. The exam system will strictly enforce the time limit for all tests. Once time has expired, the exam will be automatically submitted and you will not be able to make any further changes. Although the screen will not display the time remaining throughout the entire test, watching it count down would be very stressful for most people. A warning clock will be displayed on the screen between the question and the response box to count down the final 5 minutes of your particular exam period. If you see that timer, you need to quickly wrap up work on your exam. Remember, your time begins when you see your first question on the theology, worship, and polity exams, and the system strictly enforces the time limit on all exams, including the exegesis exam. Each question will appear on its own page of the examination's website. The scenario will be presented at the top of the page, along with the related required responses. Just below that, you will find the response box, where you will enter your answer to the question. It is like a very simple word processor, and a separate training video reviews its functions. That video also shows you how you can practice with the system before the exam date, including using non-Roman alphabets such as Korean, Greek, or Hebrew, so be sure to check it out. The exam system performs an automatic background save of whatever is in the response box every 3 minutes, and at any time when a navigation button at the bottom of the page is clicked. If at any point you want to be sure what you have just written is saved, you can click the Save and Remain button to transfer your work from your computer to the exam servers. The screen will be refreshed, which is your indication that your work was saved. When you have finished work on each question, click on Next to move on to the next question. On the second and subsequent question pages of the exam, you will notice that there is a Previous button along with the Save and Remain, Go to Page, and Next buttons. By using the Previous, Go to Page, and Next navigation buttons, you can move freely back and forth through the question pages at any time. But again, always use these navigation buttons in the window. Your browser's back and forward buttons in the menu bar do not save your responses. There's only one circumstance when you may need to use your browser's back button, but it is an important one. Should you lose your internet connection while working on the exam, you will get an error screen like the one shown here. When you click either the Save and Remain or Navigation buttons, before doing anything else, you must click on your browser's back button. That will recover from your computer's local memory what was in the response box. Then, without closing the browser, re-establish your internet connection. Once back online, click Save and Remain to transfer the answer to the servers. At a certain point in each exam, you will be given an option of responding to either an A or B question. Remember, each question is displayed on its own page. So when you reach an optional question in the exam, you will see the words Option A in the header. After you have read it, click on Next so that you can read Option B. If you prefer to respond to Option A, the Previous button will take you back so you can answer it. If you prefer Option B, then enter your answer in the response box on that page. Be aware that if you respond on the wrong page, for example, putting an answer to the Option A question in the response box on the page for option B, that answer will receive an unsatisfactory evaluation. It obviously is not an appropriate response to the scenario with which you have paired it in the exam system. When you click on the Next button at the bottom of the last question in Section 3, you will be taken to a Final Review screen. If you have left any required responses blank, or if you have included text in the response boxes for both option A and B questions, you will see warning notices asking if you would like to go back and correct these problems. Simply click on the link to go back to the page you need to work on, then Go to Page to jump to the last question page from where you can return to the Final Review page. You will notice that the review page does not have a Next button. Instead, it has a bright red Submit Answers button. That button is a visual reminder to you of a very important point. Once you click on Submit, your responses are closed and you can no longer review or make changes to your answers, even if you have not yet reached the end of your allotted time for the exam. The Submit button is a point of no return. Only click on it when you are certain you have finished work on the exam. After you have clicked Submit, you will see a page indicating you have completed this exam. At this point, you should confirm your submission. Using the link in the upper right portion of the window to return to your profile page, you will find a Completed Exams heading with a link to View Exams from the current testing period. Clicking on that link will display the questions and answers for the current exams. If the answers displayed do not correspond with what you believe were submitted, you should contact the Office of Preparation for Ministry and Examinations immediately. The staff will be able to restore material previously transferred to the servers, but they cannot upload answers from word processors or other sources that had not been uploaded during the period when the test taker was logged in to the exam. After you have confirmed the answer submissions, return to your profile page and click on Log Out from among the menu options on the left side of the screen. Finally, close your browser. Leaving the browser open or having multiple exam sessions open in browser tabs or windows may cause problems with previously submitted work. Well, that's all there is to using the online testing system. You do need to be aware that the exegesis exam does have some differences because of the particular structure and multi-day administration of that test. Be sure to carefully review the section in the handbook dealing with issues specific to taking the online exegesis exam. To wrap things up here, we just need to touch on the use of tablet computing devices. An advantage of the exam system being built on web technology is that it works on any widely available operating system and in any standards-based internet browser, such as Explorer, Safari, Firefox, or Chrome. You do need to be aware, however, that browsers that run on so-called mobile or tablet devices like the iPad do have some differences from their computer operating system-based siblings. If you plan to use a tablet device for taking the exams, we strongly suggest that you have a physical keyboard to use with it and that you have tried it out in the answer entry practice area of the exam's website before bringing it to the test. Under the stress of the exams and the pressure of the time constraints is no time to be experimenting with new computing devices or applications. I hope this information is useful to you and helps to alleviate any anxieties about taking the exams online. A written version of this material is available in the exams handbook. May God bless you and your preparations to use your gifts in the ministry of the gospel.